The story of Drew McIntyre is a well-told tale, one I'm sure you have heard before. From him signing with WWE at a young age, to being dubbed the Chosen One, to finding himself in an air band wearing tight leather pants, to ultimately finding himself on the unemployment line, only to return a few years later to fulfill the prophecy set down by Vince McMahon himself and win the WWE Championship. This you all know, but hopefully, if I have done my research correctly, I have in my possession some things about the WWE Champion you don't know. I'm Rick Ucchino, here once again on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel, and here are 5 interesting facts about Drew McIntyre. Number 1, he was quite the conspiracy theorist when he was a kid. About the time he was 10 or 11 years old, young Andrew Galloway was quite the reader and subscribed to a magazine called X Factor, which covered a wide array of topics, including dangerous diseases, UFOs, and conspiracy theories. And in one particular issue, there was some info about contacting the FBI if you wanted to request documents under the Freedom of Information Act. And so Drew McIntyre did just that. He sent in all the proper forms, and a few weeks later, much to the dismay of his father, he received a several-inch thick dossier from the FBI on all of the cases that Drew had requested, mostly centered around UFOs. He read them cover to cover, and unfortunately though, they blacked out all the good stuff. Number 2, he had to go way out of his way to train. Drew McIntyre started training to be a pro wrestler at the very young age of 15, and his parents were actually okay with it as long as he focused just as much time and energy on his schoolwork as he did his in-ring work. He would travel 12 hours each way to train. 12 hours! From Ayr, Scotland to Portsmouth, England for wrestling lessons. And I thought driving 45 minutes each way twice a week to train was bad. He stuck with it though for 6 years and kept up his studies as well. He earned his degree in criminology at the age of 21, the same year he signed the first time with WWE. 14 years later, and those long trips finally paid off. It was all worth it, as he stands today a 2-time WWE Champion. Number 3, he made his WWE debut before he really knew what he was doing. Drew will be the first to admit he was not ready for TV when he came to WWE in 2007. Just 3 weeks after moving to America, McIntyre found himself making his debut on SmackDown alongside Dave Taylor. He defeated Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder in back-to-back weeks before being shifted to the company's developmental brand of FCW. On one episode of Wikipedia Fact or Fiction, McIntyre recalled being in the ring one of those nights and being told by the referee to work the hard camera and having no clue what he was talking about. He had to ask the ref mid-match what a hard camera was. For those who don't know, the hard camera is the main stationary camera that captures all the action going on inside the wrestling ring. Number 4, he discovered the Claymore kick on accident. So earlier on, when I brought up the tight leather pants that McIntyre wore as part of 3MB, it wasn't just for comedic effect, it was a bit of foreshadowing. If it wasn't for those tight leather pants, McIntyre may still be using the Future Shock DDT as his finishing maneuver. On an episode of Table of 3 with Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal, McIntyre revealed that during a match on Raw, he went to give a big boot, but his pants were too tight. So he ended up lifting up his other foot and landed hard on the mat. He needed a few minutes to collect himself after that, saying that the unplanned fall had him seeing stars, but a headache for him that one night turned into thousands of headaches for opponents in the years that followed. And number 5, he has boldly gone where none of his fellow countrymen have before. You may know this already, but Drew McIntyre is the first British WWE Champion in the company's history. But it is crazy to think about that one. Not the British Bulldog, William Regal, Wade Barrett, or anyone else did it before him. But on top of that accolade, he's also the first man from the UK to win the Royal Rumble, which of course was the precursor to him defeating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36 to capture that WWE Championship. Not bad for the man who also happens to be the first Scotsman ever signed with WWE.